Your backlog is too long, we both know it, but some games deserve to jump the queue. I've gone through hundreds of PlayStation titles to find the ones that actually deserve your next 20, 40, or 100 hours. Here are 22 games you need to play next. Let's get into it.
Stop sleeping on Metro. This is one of the most atmospheric shooters on PlayStation, and the Gold Edition gives you everything for one price. You're already escaping the Moscow Metro on a train journey across post-apocalyptic Russia. Each level is a massive open zone filled with mutants, bandits, and environmental storytelling. The world feels genuinely oppressive and beautiful at the same time. The survival mechanics are what make this special. Your gas mask cracks and needs wiping, bullets are scarce, you craft ammo at workbenches, stealth is often smarter than combat. Every encounter feels tense because resources actually matter. But what really hooked me? The lighting and atmosphere are unreal. Ray tracing on PS5 makes this one of the best-looking games on the console. Exploring abandoned buildings with only your flashlight is genuinely terrifying. Get this, the Gold Edition includes both DLC expansions. The two kernels and Sam's story add 10+ hours of new content with completely different gameplay styles. It's all included. 25 to 35 hours for everything. If you want immersive single-player shooting with real atmosphere, this is essential. Nothing else feels quite like Metro.
I know Death Stranding is divisive. Half of you just rolled your eyes. But hear me out. The director's cut is Kojima's vision fully realized, and it's one of the most unique games on PlayStation. You're Sam Porter Bridges, delivering packages across a broken America while reconnecting isolated cities. Yes, you're a delivery man, and somehow it's compelling for 50+ hours. The traversal is what makes this work. You're planning routes, balancing cargo, building structures that other players can use. Every delivery feels earned when you finally reach your destination after crossing mountains and rivers. But here's what surprised me. The story is genuinely emotional. Without spoiling anything, this deals with connection, loss, and what it means to help others. The ending had me sitting there thinking for a solid 10 minutes. The crazy part? The director's cut adds a racing mode, firing range, buddy bot, new structures, and expanded combat arenas. Plus, all the content runs at 60 FPS with insane graphics. It's the definitive version. 50 to 70 hours for completion. If you want something genuinely different and don't mind slow-paced gameplay, give this a shot. It's not for everyone, but when it clicks, it really clicks. 3 full games in one package? Hitman World of Assassination is the complete stealth assassination trilogy, and the value here is absolutely absurd. You're Agent 47, taking contracts across the world. Each level is a massive sandbox with dozens of ways to eliminate your targets. Poison their drink, push them off a building, rig an accident. The creativity is entirely up to you. But what makes Hitman brilliant is the replayability. Each map has challenges, escalations, different starting locations, and elusive targets. You'll play the same mission 10 times and discover new routes every time. The level design is some of the best in gaming. A fashion show in Paris, a racing event in Miami, a party in a German castle. Every location feels alive with hundreds of NPCs following routines. You're finding opportunities by listening and observing. Plus, all 3 games are here, Hitman 1, 2, and 3. Over 20 massive maps with all DLC included. Hundreds of hours of content for one purchase. 40 to 60 hours to see everything once, but completionists can easily hit 200+ hours. If you love stealth games with actual freedom, this is mandatory. The sandbox design is unmatched. This is the most freedom I've ever had in an RPG. Divinity Original Sin 2 lets you approach problems in ways I didn't even know were possible, and it's genuinely mind-blowing. You're creating a character and choosing an origin story that actually affects the entire game. Every choice matters. Every conversation can be solved through persuasion, intimidation, or violence. The role-playing depth is staggering. The turn-based combat is incredible. You can teleport enemies into fire, electrify water to stun everyone standing in it, rain blood on enemies, then set them on fire. The environmental interactions are endless, and discovering broken combos is half the fun. But here's what makes this special. Co-op for up to 4 players. You and your friends can split up, pursue different quests, even betray each other. I've had sessions where my party argued for 20 minutes about what to do next. That's real role-playing. And listen, the Definitive Edition adds new content, rebalances everything, and includes all DLC. Plus, the PS5 version runs beautifully with fast loading. 80 to 120 hours for one playthrough. Easily the best CRPG on PlayStation. If you love tactical combat and real choice, this is essential. This is 100+ hours of pure JRPG goodness. Dragon Quest XI-S is old-school turn-based RPG done to perfection, and the Definitive Edition is packed with content. You're the Luminary, a chosen hero on a quest to save the world. The story hits every classic JRPG beat: betrayal, friendship, sacrifice, but the execution is so charming and well-written that you'll care deeply about every character. The turn-based combat is simple but deep. You're building your party, learning new abilities, finding equipment. It's classic without feeling dated. Boss fights require actual strategy, not just button mashing. But what really sells it is this definitive edition. It adds orchestral music, a 16-bit mode where you can play the entire game in retro graphics, new story content, and quality of life improvements. It's the complete package. 80 to 120 hours to finish everything. If you love classic JRPGs or want a long, satisfying adventure, this is mandatory. Pure comfort food gaming. I'm going to say something that sounds crazy. Outer Wilds is one of the best games ever made, and I genuinely cannot tell you why without ruining it. You're an alien astronaut exploring a solar system stuck in a 22-minute time loop. The sun explodes, you die, you wake up and start again. But you keep your knowledge. This entire game is about discovery and solving a cosmic mystery. Every planet hides secrets. Every location connects to another. You're piecing together what happened to an ancient civilization while trying to understand why time keeps looping. When everything finally clicks together, it's pure magic. But here's what broke me: the ending. I sat staring at my screen afterward, genuinely emotional. No game has ever affected me like that. It's beautiful, profound, and perfectly executed. The best part? It's only 15 to 20 hours, perfectly paced with zero filler. Every single moment matters. And once you finish, you'll wish you could experience it again for the first time. Do not look up spoilers. Do not watch gameplay. Just play it blind. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Trust me completely on this one. Underwater survival on an alien ocean planet. Subnautica shouldn't work as well as it does, but it's genuinely one of the most compelling survival games I've played. You crash land on planet 4546b, and the entire world is ocean. You're gathering resources, building bases, crafting equipment, and exploring deeper and deeper. The progression loop is perfectly paced. But what makes Subnautica brilliant is the atmosphere. The ocean starts beautiful and inviting. Then you go deeper, and it gets darker. Creatures get bigger. Suddenly, you're genuinely scared to explore certain areas. The base building is incredibly satisfying too. You're designing underwater habitats with windows overlooking the reef, connecting modules, building submarines. Your bases become homes you're genuinely proud of. Get this, there's an actual story here. You're uncovering why you crashed, what happened to other survivors, and the secrets of this planet. The mystery kept me hooked for the entire playthrough. 25 to 35 hours to see the ending. No combat focus, it's about exploration and discovery. If you want survival with genuine wonder and occasional terror, play this immediately. Fallen Order was good. Survivor is genuinely great. This is Respawn taking everything that worked and making it bigger, deeper, and more satisfying. You're Cal Kestis, now a proper Jedi Master 5 years after the first game. The worlds are massive, real open zones with secrets, side quests, and actual exploration. It feels like a proper adventure. The stance system completely changes combat. Want a heavy crossguard saber like Kylo Ren? Done. Dual wielding for speed? You got it. Blaster and lightsaber combo like a scoundrel? That's an option. Every stance plays completely differently. But what really hooked me, the story is surprisingly emotional. This deals with loss, PTSD, and found family. Cal's journey hits harder than I expected. The performances are fantastic across the board. The crazy part? This might be the best Star Wars media in years, movies included. The set pieces are incredible. The lightsaber combat feels weighty and impactful. You genuinely feel like a Jedi. 25 to 35 hours with side content. If you love Star Wars or just want a solid action adventure, this is essential. Best Star Wars game since KOTOR.
Forget the multiplayer for a second. Titanfall 2's campaign is one of the best FPS campaigns ever made, and it's criminally underplayed. You're a pilot who bonds with a Titan named BT-7274. The relationship between you two is the heart of this game, and it genuinely got me emotional by the end. The level design is absolutely genius. One mission has you time traveling between past and present with a button press. Another has you building momentum by wall running through a factory. Every level introduces something new. The movement is what makes this special. Wall running, double jumping, sliding, it all flows perfectly. When you're chaining moves through a level at full speed, nothing feels better. Plus, the Titan combat is incredibly satisfying. You're calling down your giant robot, jumping in and causing chaos. The bond between pilot and Titan actually matters mechanically and emotionally. Wait for it, the campaign is only 6 to 8 hours, but it's perfectly paced, zero filler. Every mission is memorable, and you can usually grab this for under $10. If you haven't played it, fix that immediately. This is FPS campaign design at its peak. Arcane Studios makes the best immersive sims in the business. Dishonored 2 is their masterpiece, and the level design here is some of the best in gaming history. You choose between Corvo or Emily. Different powers, different playstyles. Corvo teleports and stops time. Emily links enemies together and turns into shadow. The flexibility is incredible. But here's what makes this legendary. Clockwork Mansion and a crack in the slab. These two missions alone justify the entire game. One level has a building that mechanically reconfigures itself. Another lets you jump between two timelines instantly. I've never seen anything like them. The freedom is what keeps you replaying. Ghost through without killing anyone, murder everyone creatively, mix stealth and combat. The chaos system tracks your actions and changes the world, dialogue, and ending. And listen, the art direction is stunning. Karnaca feels like a living, breathing city. The painted art style holds up beautifully years later. 20 to 30 hours for one playthrough, but the replayability is massive. Different powers, different approaches, different outcomes. If you love creative problem solving, this is mandatory. Nothing comes close to this level design.
B.J. Blazkowicz killing Nazis in alternate history America. Wolfenstein 2 is pure cathartic violence wrapped in a surprisingly emotional story. The gunplay is phenomenal. Dual-wielding shotguns, laser weapons, hatchets for stealth kills. Every weapon feels powerful and satisfying. Combat encounters are fast, brutal, and intense. But what genuinely surprised me, the story is fantastic. This deals with trauma, fatherhood, resistance, and what it means to keep fighting when everything seems hopeless. The cutscenes are shockingly well acted and directed. The level variety keeps things fresh too. You're infiltrating a courtroom, boarding a U-boat, sneaking through a Nazi-occupied New Orleans. Every mission feels distinct. The best part? The writing perfectly balances serious themes with absolutely absurd moments. One minute you're having an emotional conversation, the next you're dual-wielding shotguns on Venus. It somehow works. 10 to 15 hours for the campaign. If you want a single-player shooter with actual substance and spectacular violence, this is essential. Best modern Wolfenstein game, and it's not.
Yakuza went turn-based RPG, and somehow it's the best entry point for newcomers. Like a Dragon is absolutely wild, and I mean that in the best way possible. You're Ichiban Tasuga, an ex-Yakuza trying to rebuild his life. He's optimistic, kind, and genuinely hilarious. The main cast has incredible chemistry, and you'll care about all of them by the end. The turn-based combat works because it's so over the top. You're summoning crawfish attacks, hitting enemies with bicycles, calling in orbital laser strikes. Every fight is absurdly entertaining. But what makes this special is the tonal balance. The main story is serious crime drama, dealing with homelessness, loyalty, and betrayal. Then you'll do a side quest about befriending a crawfish or managing a business empire. It's insane. What really sells it? This is a completely fresh start. No prior Yakuza knowledge needed. New protagonist, new city, new combat system, you can jump right in. 50 to 70 hours with side content? If you've been curious about Yakuza, this is where you start. Easily one of the best JRPGs on PlayStation. Same studio as Yakuza, completely different vibe. Judgment is a detective thriller set in Kamurocho, and it's genuinely gripping from start to finish. You're Takayuki Yagami, a disgraced lawyer turned detective, solving a serial killer case. The mystery is fantastic, genuinely unpredictable with twists I didn't see coming. The detective work actually matters. You're tailing suspects through crowds, finding evidence, analyzing crime scenes, picking locks. It's not just cutscenes, you're doing real investigation. Combat is classic Yakuza. Two styles, brutal heat actions, picking up objects. But the investigation segments break up the pacing perfectly. It never feels repetitive. Get this, Takayuki Kimura, one of Japan's biggest actors, plays Yagami. His performance elevates the entire game. This feels like a premium TV drama you're playing through. 30 to 40 hours with side cases. Every detective mission has actual detective work. If you want Yakuza's world with a different genre, this is essential. The best detective game on PlayStation. Co-op game of the year. It Takes Two is mandatory gaming if you have anyone to play with. Partner, friend, sibling, doesn't matter. This is special. You're a couple going through divorce, turned into dolls by your daughter's tears. The premise is weird, but it works. The relationship drama is surprisingly mature and well handled.
Every single level introduces completely new mechanics. 1 minute you're in a space shooter, next you're solving puzzles with time manipulation, then you're riding a beetle. The variety is exhausting in the best way. But here's what makes this brilliant. It's designed around cooperation. You can't progress without your partner. Puzzles require communication. Boss fights need coordination. You're genuinely working together constantly. Plus, only one person needs to buy it. The Friends Pass lets your co-op partner play free. 2 people, full game, 1 purchase. That's incredible value in 2025. 12 to 15 hours of pure co-op joy. If you have anyone to play with, grab this immediately. Best co-op experience on PlayStation, and it's not close.
This is what happens when a small team creates something with massive heart. Kena, Bridge of Spirits is a gorgeous action-adventure that punches way above its weight class. You're Kena, a spirit guide, helping trapped souls move on. The setup is simple, but the execution is beautiful. Every area you cleanse brings life back to corrupted landscapes. It's genuinely satisfying watching dead zones bloom. The combat is surprisingly challenging. Dodge timing matters. Boss fights require learning patterns. This isn't a walking simulator. You'll die if you're sloppy, but it always feels fair. But here's what hooked me: the rot. These little spirit companions follow you around, help in combat, and are ridiculously adorable. Collecting them and dressing them up became weirdly important to me. And listen, the visuals are stunning. This runs on Unreal Engine 5 and looks like a Pixar movie. The forest environments, lighting, and animation quality are insane for a game from a 15-person studio. 10 to 15 hours for completion, perfectly paced with no filler. If you love Zelda-style adventures with challenge and combat, this is essential. Pure heart and polish. Before It Takes Two, the same studio made A Way Out. This is a co-op prison break story, and it's one of the most unique experiences on PlayStation. You're either Leo or Vincent, 2 convicts breaking out of prison. The entire game is split-screen co-op, even during cutscenes. You're watching your partner's perspective while playing yours. The story is what makes this work. It starts as a simple prison break and evolves into something way more personal. The twists genuinely shocked me. I wasn't ready for where this goes. The variety keeps it fresh too. You're sneaking, shooting, solving puzzles, playing mini-games. One moment you're in a car chase, the next you're having a quiet conversation. It never settles into one genre. And listen, like It Takes Two, only one person needs to buy it. Friends Pass is included. 2 people play the full game for 1 price. 6 to 8 hours for 1 playthrough, perfectly paced with 0 filler. If you loved It Takes Two and want something more grounded and dramatic, play this. Hazelight doesn't miss. You paint to solve problems. Concrete Genie is one of the most wholesome, creative games on PlayStation, and it deserves way more attention than it got. You're Ash, a bullied kid who finds a magic paintbrush. You're bringing life back to a polluted town by painting murals that literally come alive. Watching your art move and interact is genuinely magical. The painting system is surprisingly deep. You're creating landscapes, creatures, fire, electricity. Your genies help solve puzzles and bring joy to the town. It's satisfying in ways I didn't expect. But what really got me? The story deals with bullying, loneliness, and finding your voice through art. It's surprisingly emotional for a game about painting walls. The ending had me tearing up. The best part? VR mode is included for free. You can paint in virtual reality, and it's one of the coolest uses of PSVR. Even without VR, the standard game is fantastic. 5 to 7 hours for completion. Short, but perfectly paced. If you want something creative, heartfelt, and different, play this immediately. Criminally underrated. Flying through cities by manipulating gravity. Gravity Rush 2 is one of the most unique movement systems in gaming, and once it clicks, nothing else feels like it. You're Cat, a gravity shifter protecting floating cities. The story is anime nonsense in the best way. Weird, charming, and surprisingly emotional. The gravity mechanics are what make this special. You're falling upward, walking on ceilings, launching yourself across the sky. Combat has you kicking enemies while shifting gravity midair. It's chaotic and beautiful. But here's what hooked me: the world. These floating cities are gorgeous, filled with NPCs, side quests, and secrets. Just flying around exploring is genuinely enjoyable. The sense of freedom is unmatched. Wait for it. There are photo mode challenges where you're taking pictures for in-game social media. It sounds weird, but becomes addictive. You're finding perfect angles, dressing up Cat, chasing likes. 20 to 30 hours for everything. If you want something genuinely unique with incredible traversal, this is essential. Nothing moves like Gravity Rush. 16 Colossi, no filler. Shadow of the Colossus is still one of the most focused, atmospheric games ever made, and this remake is absolutely stunning. You're Wander, hunting giant creatures to bring back a girl. That's it. No side quests, no enemy variety. Just you, your horse, and massive bosses across a beautiful wasteland. Each Colossus is a puzzle. You're finding weak points, climbing their bodies, holding on as they try to shake you off. Every fight feels epic and personal. But what makes this special is the atmosphere. The world is hauntingly beautiful and empty, just wind, ruins, and the Colossi. The minimalism creates genuine tension. Get this, Bluepoint rebuilt this from scratch. The PS5 version runs at 60 FPS with incredible visuals. This might be the best-looking remake ever made. Every frame is stunning. 6 to 8 hours for completion, perfectly paced with zero bloat. If you've never played it, this is essential gaming history. If you have, this remake justifies revisiting. Absolute masterpiece. A boy and his giant bird dog creature. The Last Guardian is Team Ico's most ambitious game, and despite its flaws, it's genuinely unforgettable. You're a nameless boy who befriends Trico, a massive creature that's equal parts dog, cat, and bird. The entire game is about building trust and escaping together. The bond with Trico is what makes this work. Early on, he doesn't trust you. He won't follow commands. But as you progress, feed him, remove spears from his body, he starts responding. That relationship feels earned and real. The puzzle design revolves around cooperation. Trico can't fit through small spaces. You can't reach high places. You're genuinely working together. And when Trico saves you from danger, it hits emotionally. And listen, yes, the camera is rough. Yes, Trico doesn't always listen. But those imperfections make him feel alive. Real animals don't perfectly obey commands. 10 to 15 hours for completion. If you want an emotional journey with a creature you'll genuinely care about, play this. Nothing else feels like The Last Guardian. Game of the Year 2024. Astrobot is pure distilled joy, and I genuinely didn't know games could still make me smile this much. You're Astro, rescuing crew members across galaxies. Every level introduces completely new mechanics. One world, you're blowing up balloons to float. Next, you're a sponge soaking up water. The creativity never stops. The DualSense implementation is what the controller was made for. You feel everything. Rain pattering, ice cracking, rocket boosters firing. Playing this made me appreciate the PS5 hardware more than any other game. But what really makes this special? The PlayStation fan service. You're rescuing bots dressed as Kratos, Nathan Drake, Aloy. Deep cuts only real ones recognize. It's nostalgia done perfectly. The best part? Not a single level feels like filler. 90 levels across 60 planets, and every one has a reason to exist. The level design rivals anything Nintendo has ever done. 10 to 15 hours for completion? If you own a PS5 and haven't played this, what are you doing? This is mandatory. Your inner child will thank you. Rip and tear. Doom 2016 single-handedly revived the boomer shooter genre, and it's still the most satisfying FPS campaign on PlayStation. You're the Doomslayer, and demons have invaded Mars. The story doesn't matter. You're here to murder everything with extreme prejudice. The combat loop is perfection. You're constantly moving, switching weapons, chaining glory kills for health. Standing still gets you killed. The pace is relentless and incredibly satisfying. But here's what makes Doom brilliant: the glory kill system. Stagger an enemy, perform a brutal execution, get health back. It forces aggressive play. You can't hide and heal. You push forward or die. The crazy part? The soundtrack by Mick Gordon is legendary. Heavy metal that dynamically responds to combat. When that guitar kicks in during a fight, you feel unstoppable. 10 to 12 hours for the campaign. If you want pure adrenaline-fueled violence with no filler, this is essential. Best modern shooter campaign, and I will die on this hill. So there you have it. 22 games you need to play next. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these are you starting first? Which ones have you already finished? Drop it in the comments. And if this helped you find your next obsession, hit that like button and subscribe. Go play something incredible. I'll see you in the next one.